Hello and welcome to Python Programming Complete course. This is part 24, MongoDB with Python. In this video, we will have an overview of MongoDB database, NoSQL, PyMongo, and why use MongoDB. So what is a database? Database is a systematic collection of data. Database makes data management easy. There are different types of database which are available, like hierarchical database systems, object-oriented database, distributed database, relational database, and NoSQL database. So what is a NoSQL database? NoSQL originally referred to non-SQL or non-relation. Sometimes it's also called not only SQL. It stores data in a document format other than the tabular format which we use in the relational database management systems. It does not use tables for storing data. It is generally used to store huge amounts of data and real-time web applications. What is MongoDB? MongoDB is an open source document-oriented database. It is a NoSQL database. MongoDB is mostly written in C++, Java, and Python. MongoDB uses JSON-like documents with optional schemas, and it is originally it was developed by Tengen. Now it is looked after by MongoDB Incorporation. If we talk about the features of MongoDB, first one we have is ad hoc queries. Queries can return specific fields of document and can also be configured to return random samples of data. Documents can be indexed with primary and secondary indices. MongoDB provides replica sets which consist of 2 or more copies of data distributed over several servers. MongoDB scales horizontal sharding or partitioning of data in a database. Now each shard is held on a separate database server to spread the load. Data is stored in the file system called GridFS. The aggregation framework enables users to obtain results similar to the SQL group by clause. These are few features of MongoDB. Next question which comes to our mind is why use MongoDB, or what is the requirement of MongoDB? So the modern application, they have a requirement of big data. They need huge amounts of data for analysis, for their working. They need fast feature development and flexible development, and the older database systems are not able to fulfill all the requirements, so MongoDB was needed. Where MongoDB is used? Anywhere where huge amounts of data needs to be stored. MongoDB is schemaless, so adding a new field is easy. Anywhere where we need an unstable schema or where we need to add new fields, it can be used. It is used in data hubs for distributed data, that is if we need multiple copies of data across different servers which needs to be maintained so that data recovery is instant. There we can use MongoDB. It is used in mobile and social infrastructures, and there are many more areas where MongoDB can be used. So which organizations are using MongoDB? MongoDB has been adopted as backend software by a number of websites and services. To name a few, we have Cisco, Adobe, Craigslist, Bosch, Verizon, Aadhaar, MetLife. This is just a few organizations and companies who are using MongoDB. Let us talk about the difference between the RDBMS, that is the relational database management systems, and MongoDB. Our relational database management system, it has a typical schema design. When we start working with RDBMS, we have to have a schema or the design, how the tables will be structured, what all fields, columns will be there. Whereas when we talk about MongoDB, it's a document oriented database when there is no concept of schema or relationship. In RDBMS, we have different types of complex joins, whereas no complex joins are available in MongoDB. If we talk about RDBMS, it has a non-flexible document structure, whereas if you are working with MongoDB, it is very easy to change the document structure. RDBMS has slower indexing, whereas indexing is very fast in MongoDB. When we are working with relational database systems, we have a concept of tables. Tables are known as collections in MongoDB. The records or the tuple which we have in the RDBMS, they are known as documents in MongoDB. The columns of RDBMS are known as fields in MongoDB. In the relational database systems, we have primary key to uniquely identify the records, whereas we have the default ID, which is a hexadecimal number in MongoDB. So how data is stored in MongoDB? MongoDB stores data in the JSON-like document, that is JavaScript object notation, and each document is separated by a dot. Each document has a key value pair or a name value pair, like we have the dictionary in Python. But no doubt it stores the data in JSON-like document, but uses a variant called bJSON or binary JSON. So this is an example how the data is stored in MongoDB. We have the default ID, then we have the name value pair. MongoDB can be installed. Since it's free, the MongoDB database can be installed from their official website mongodb.com, and you can start working with the community edition, or we can also use the MongoDB cloud. Both the links are being provided in this video. MongoDB currently provides official driver support for various languages like C, C++, C#, Perl, Ruby, PHP, and Python is also one of them. So how do we connect MongoDB to Python if we are using MongoDB with Python? How we can do that? We have three variations available. First one is PyMongo, which is a driver for connecting MongoDB and Python. Then we have Mongo Engine, which is a document object mapper. The last one which we have, which we can use to connect MongoDB to Python, is Django, which is used for Python web application which are using Django framework. So what is PyMongo? PyMongo is the driver which we will be using to connect MongoDB with Python, and we'll have an overview of PyMongo in this video. Python needs a MongoDB driver to access MongoDB database. So PyMongo is the official MongoDB driver for MongoDB. PyMongo has all the libraries to perform database operations from Python code and interact with MongoDB database from Python. You can install it using the pip package manager on your system. Once both MongoDB and PyMongo are installed, one can establish a connection and start working. So how to use PyMongo? We'll just have an overview. First of all, we have to connect to MongoDB. Then a database is created, collection, that is the table, we create the table, and the document, that is the records, they are created. If the database is already in place, the collection is already being saved or created, we can obtain collections from the database, we can find the documents or a document in the collection, we can insert new document, that is all the CRUD operations, they are available once we are connected to MongoDB database. So in this video we have discussed what is NoSQL, what is MongoDB, PyMongo, what are the main differences between MongoDB and the relational database management system. Like earlier we have discussed MySQL as well, we have worked with that, and how to install MongoDB and PyMongo. And once we have established a connection, how to use PyMongo. This video is just an overview of MongoDB. Hope you found the information shared in this video useful. Stay tuned for upcoming videos and thank you for watching.